Okay, so our new unit we're going to be covering is a covalent bond. Okay, we just covered ionic, and ionic is a nonmetal and a metal, a positive and a negative. But with covalent, which is sometimes called molecular bonding, they can be called the same thing, covalent bond or molecular bond. It's going to be a nonmetal and a nonmetal. So you have a much smaller choice for nonmetals. If it's two nonmetals, it's called a covalent bond. And that's what the whole front side of this worksheet says. It goes through all the bonds we've learned. It goes through the ionic compound. And for the ionic, you just end it in IDE. And that's going to be a metal and a nonmetal. Then covalent bond, which is two nonmetals. That's what we're going to be learning today. On how to name those. You already know how to identify it. If there's two nonmetals, then it's going to be called covalent. And then polyatomic, we know, 3 or more elements. And those are on the periodic table. You don't have to memorize them. It clearly says polyatomic ions. Okay, so the only new thing for covalent bonds is we use the Greek prefixes. What are those? Look further down. So when we name these, we're going to start using mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta for 7, octa, nona, deca. Okay, depending on how many atoms we have, we just use those prefixes before. So let's practice. Let's see if they have any. Okay, here we go. Here's the sample they're going to give you. N2O4. Okay, N2O4. How many nitrogens do we have? 2. That's why they wrote dinitrogen. And then how many oxygens do you have? 4. And it says 4 right here. You call it tetra. So it's tetraoxide. Anybody have any questions on how you name them? And that's all we do for that. Okay, so on the back, you do still practice some ionic. We don't want you to forget that. That's the metal and the nonmetals. So ionic just ends in "ide." You want to go ionic. It ends in "ide." Covalent. You can just write prefixes. So you know. So the very first one, you're just writing on the left-hand side, is it a metal or a non-metal? Barium. If I look at the periodic table, barium is, where is barium? We'll find it. Oh, barium's number 56. Barium's right here. Is this a metal or a non-metal? Okay, so we would write metal, or M. And then chloride is number 17. Chloride's on the opposite side. This is a non-metal. So we would write non-metal. A metal plus a non-metal, what kind of bond is that? You just write ionic. And then this very middle portion, it says name these ionic compounds. So you already know it's ionic. And if it's ionic, what does it end with? Ide. So this one, they started for you, lithium oxide. Because if it's ever ionic, you end with ide. This portion over here, it says use the polyatomic chart. So that's what you would do. You get on your periodic table, flip it over to where it says polyatomic. In this section, it says define the Greek prefixes. Can anyone tell me what penta means? 5. Okay, so you know what to do there. The middle section, you're matching. I'll do the first one for you. How many oxygens are there?
2.
There's 2 oxygens, so it has to say dioxide. Okay, I feel confident that you guys know what to do for the rest of these, okay? So if you have any questions, just let me know. You do need your periodic table, And this is an introduction to covalent. It does not get much harder than this. So we test on this next Friday. Anybody have any questions right now?